Hi, I'm going to tell you a story, something just really awesome that happened with my little dog, Ziggy, happened yesterday. I want to show you, I'm going to show you his picture. This is Ziggy, and I'm going to take it off. He's a rescue. This is last year. He's 12 now. I've had him for 5 years. He's been with me. We're guessing his age. He was a rescue. But he's definitely Jack Russell and perhaps something else. I don't know. I didn't know that Jack Russells came with long legs. They do. All the ones with little short legs, they're called shorties. I didn't know that. So you can tell from his face, he's a lot of Jack Russell. Okay, so that's Ziggy, my sweet boy Ziggy. And when he first came to me, I'm going to try to, I have difficulty keeping stories short. I'm going to try. I've written a lot about him and talked a lot about him, but just the short version is I was volunteering at a shelter when he came in. Once a week, I was walking dogs because I had recently lost my heart dog and I just needed to be around dogs. And he asked to come home with me. I wasn't looking for a dog, especially not a male dog, especially not a Jack Russell male dog, but he came. And I asked him where he'd come from, what his deal was, why he wanted to come with me. And he told me, this is before I picked him up, that he had been with a family and that, see, I can't remember the exact words because now I have the real ones, but it was, he'd been left. I'm like, who left you? Because I got this strong feeling of a really loving family. And then when I picked him up and I told the people, he came from a family, do you know anything about the family? And they said, no, he was rescued from an animal hoarder. I'm like, what? I know I heard him correctly. And then it turned out both things were true because a few months later, when I took him to the vet to be checked out when he was living with me, and he had dental work done, and he had a missing tooth. And the vet said, oh yeah, that tooth was professionally extracted. And I said, well, that didn't happen from a hoarder. He had a family. So, but I never really knew, and he wouldn't talk to me about it. I just got a sense it had been a loving family. I mean, they took care of his mouth. So I didn't know. And he wouldn't talk about the hoarder for 4 years. 4 years. Last year, he finally, and I only asked twice. I'm like, okay, you don't have to talk about it. But last year, it kind of came up and he told me all about it. It was really interesting. All right, so fast forward. He has anxiety issues. He had PTSD attacks when he first came to live with me. I didn't know that's what they were until a human therapist told me that's what they were. For no reason that I could ascertain, he would just start trembling and just disappear. He couldn't hear me, couldn't see me. They'd last about 5 minutes. They were terrifying. He hasn't had one of those in a couple of years, but he has anxiety attacks. And he's just a very anxious guy. So we have a strict routine that helps him. So we do certain things at certain times. It helps that I work from home. So yesterday, we were walking with a friend who knows him and loves him in a lovely conservation area. I'm in Illinois, a bird sanctuary, and it has lovely trails. And of course, they're supposed to be kept on leash, but there was nobody there. It's small and it's quiet, and it was a Friday. It wasn't a weekend. There was nobody there. And so I let him off leash, and he doesn't go anywhere. He'll run a little bit ahead. He stays on the path. Always has stayed on the path. And he wouldn't go. He was like whining. Oh, I hate it when he whines. It's whining, and sniffing and whining and walking 3 steps and coming back. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Go, 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 go run, go run. And when he runs, he doesn't run far. He'll look and he'll come right back. He's perfect. So in that regard, he's not going to get in trouble. So, at the barn, he runs around like a maniac and gets in all kinds of trouble. But in a new place, I wasn't worried about it. And he was anxious on the leash. Our friend was walking him and he was not, let's just let him off the leash. So I realize I'm breaking rules here. I'm admitting this. And I'm like, trying to make really, it was okay. Anyway, so he wasn't enjoying himself. Then off leash, he was whining and I said, Ziggy, after saying, go, like 6 times, that's usually enough to get him going. I said, what is wrong with you? And I heard words, but it was more, I heard, "Boom." There was a physical boom in my heart. And I heard, I was left by the side of the road. Clear as day. And with PTSD and this kind of anxiety attacks, what I've learned about him is they just come for no reason. We weren't by a road. There were no people there. There was, so I can't figure out what triggers them. He sometimes wakes up in the middle of the night after having had a nightmare, just terrified, shaking. And then I give him Reiki hands and he falls back asleep and he's fine. So I don't know what brought this on. I don't have any idea. Maybe a smell. I don't know. But it was very, very clear. He said, I was left by the side of the road. And I said, and let me say, I have told him many times when he acts weird about places, like when I'm leaving or when I'm getting ready to go, Ziggy, I will never leave you. I have told him that so many times. Doesn't matter. But this was specific. When he said, I was left by the side of the road, I said, I will never leave you by the side of the road. And his behavior, I wasn't expecting anything. I was just telling him. His behavior immediately changed. My friend noticed it. She was like, and she's taken my animal communication class, so she knew that I wasn't being crazy. But she didn't hear it when I told her what I'd heard, and it was physical also. I said, are you noticing a change in his behavior? She said, yes. Immediately, he started playing. He wasn't anxious anymore. He stopped whining. And he, went a little ways and came back, and he was joyful and playing. It was immediate. It was stunning. I've been doing this work for 25 years and I was blown away. Just acknowledging, but I heard it for the first time, clearly what it was. And who knows why it came then. So I just wanted to share that. There's no moral here. It's just, and hearing him clearly, because he said it clearly. Like I said, it took him 4 years to tell me about the hoarder. He would not discuss it. And maybe this was too painful too. But the rest of the day, he was calm. He didn't get into any of his whiny moments. He whined again today, but that's just part of his MO. But he was, something shifted in him telling me that, me acknowledging it, and assuring him it would not happen again. So I just wanted to share that. This is real. And someone else saw the change in his behavior. I should have around here going, yeah, it's really true. So that's all. That's just a Ziggy story. I'm Pam Sorellis of Winged Horse Healing, and I talk to critters. And I love helping people hear their critters, behavior issues or this kind of thing. Or if you're getting ready to make some kind of transition, if there's a vet appointment coming up or a surgery, or you're moving, or any kind of transition, they really appreciate being told about and their fears acknowledged and being reassured. So that's the work I do. And I also teach it to remind you that you know how to do this, that you can hear them if they feel like talking. They don't always. So although they'll talk to me, they may not talk to, it's harder to talk to your own animal. Okay, I'm getting off, which may be why it took so long to hear him. But anyway, I just wanted to share my Ziggy story. I'll be telling more of them. And you can visit me at wingedhorsehealing.com. Take care. Let me trying to find the off. Okay, see you soon.